Hello, Nick Collier here, and we're going to begin a new project today. This is a fairly complex one, but it's going to be fairly small, and I think we can get through it pretty quickly. So basically what we're going to do here, and I'm going to bring this in close for you. You can kind of see that. We will be, we've got this little motor here, and I'll show you the motor. And it's like a 30-to-1 geared ratio motor with a 10,000 RPM motor and then a bunch of gear reductions so that it turns 30 RPM. The motor hooks up to a disc that spins at 30 RPM. A bar, and here's the bar here, this is one of them. You can kind of see the bar. It will connect to the disc in one of these four holes, and the bar will move back and forth. And then when we get up to this part here, there's going to be another bar that's like twice as long and goes all the way over to the other side, and it will move back and forth in the same fashion. Now what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to make the sculpture that this guy is working on, and I guess it's a sculpture of a woman, and it's supposed to make the hips move back and forth. So that should be pretty easy. I think we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this one, and we'll go to the first step. Okay, I just love it when I can scrounge around and find something that's been laying around for years and I get to use it. And that's pretty much what happened to this piece here. This was one of the discs of the anti-gravity device, which I made about, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And this was an extra disc. So basically what I'm going to do is just come in, clean it up, make it real nice, and then drill 3 or 4 holes in one of these legs. And that's going to give us plenty of beef to do what we want to do. And then I'll probably have to drill a hole through the center here and put a little sleeve in there to be able to attach the motor, although it looks like the motor might just fit. So we just might be able to pull this whole thing off in one fell swoop. Okay, so we've got our piece loaded up. It looks like the center hole is a bit off, so probably what I'm going to end up doing is drill a hole through it, put a bolt nut through that, and then drill a hole through that, and set up something to attach to the motor. But for right now, we're just going to trim off this outside edge and make the whole thing kind of look a little better. And we're using the little south bend here because my other lathe is busy. And this will fit on the south bend. I got to go get some glasses here. This surface is all smudged up and dirty and everything. I think I'll just take a little bit of sandpaper and just kind of clean everything up a little bit. How's that look? Much better? Let's go the other way. Alright, so that's a good start. Flip it over and clean up this back side a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's all wobbly. We're just hitting it with the sandpaper. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And we still got some rough edges or some sharp edges on the inside here, but I think what I can do is just come in later with a hand file and just clean those up a little bit. So we want to get back to boring a hole in this. Let's see if we can find a place where this center hole finds a better center. I'm almost certain there's a place somewhere. Let's try flipping it one more, just for fun. That's pretty close right there. That's still not going to do it. So, probably what I did was I came in from the outside, clamped it from the outside, and then drilled the hole. So that's okay. We can just bore this hole fairly quickly. And then come in with a bolt and get our center. So I think rather than try to mess around and come up with a boring tool that's going to fit into a small hole and get it all set up and everything, sometimes you can just come in with a mill bit, and this is a bottoming bit, and that'll square up my hole, and then I can just kind of come in later with a drill, and if I need with a yeah, that's going to do the job. And if I need, I can come in with a boring tool later to get it perfectly square. Alrighty, that pretty much took care of it. And that brought us back to pretty close to center. Maybe I'll get a little bit bigger tool. Try it again. That works almost like a reaming tool. So, we're in, we've got that, and we've drilled ourselves, looks like about a 3/8 hole. Okay, we're going to make this a little bit bigger hole, and we can do that by just getting a drill bit at this point. 7/16 it looks like to me. for the first time I realize that I have a 7/16 left-hand drill bit. That's very nice. There it is. Fits just fine. Probably let's just take it out. Snug this beast down. I'm going to take it over to the vise, tighten the nut or the bolt up, and then we'll set ourselves a center drill. Okay, before I do anything, what I have to do is I have to come in and if you'll notice the bolt is going to go through the hole and the motor, and then I'm going to drill a hole in the center of the bolt, and then the motor needs to come into the bolt. And yes, there is a little nut on here to hold the motor shaft in place, but I don't really trust that nut so much because it could come loose and start spinning. And I certainly don't want to take a bunch of time to drill a wrist pin hole, not a wrist pin, anyhow, a pin hole in there so that it's solid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole in the bolt itself and put a set screw in the bolt so that we can cramp down on the shaft and everything will be fine. So in order to do that, we're going to bring the bolt in and set it up. Let's go ahead and put this over here. And let's see, what's our best approach here? Probably our best approach is just to go ahead and drop it onto the bottom of the vise. Bring our, and that way we've got a nice square bottom to work from. Bring our bolt in, or our setting in. Start with a fairly small bit. That might be a problem. Let's see if we can get out here to the point. And because he wants me to work fast, we're basically going to just eyeball everything. It's not a real critical thing. It's going to spend 30 RPM, which is almost no RPM. It's going to be a very slow moving thing with not a lot of pressure on it. So I think we're in pretty good shape here. See where our hole is. Maybe we'll square up just a little bit more. It's centered. There we go. Now it looks like the drill bit is kind of kicked this way just a little bit. Because I didn't use a center. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of kick it back so that it finds its own center. And we're just going to take it down just a ways here because we're going to have a hole drilled through the center. And I'll go ahead and take it far enough. That it's past center. Without drilling into my vise. A little bit more. should do the trick. So that's just our pilot hole. And now we come in with a bit that it's going to allow us to thread that into that size there. Now what we have to do is find that size. I'll be back. Okay, we're going to drill our second hole. A little bit of oil. Okay, we've got our hole. We've got our little Allen. Oops, put it in backwards. That goes in nice. Now all we have to do is put it in the thing and drill a hole in the center. Okay, so what we're going to do is we've got the motor. We've got the motor, and we need to measure the shaft size, and we're looking at 147, 146 and a half. And so then we need to drill our hole, and that wants to be undersized, and that is undersized by, looks like we got 143 thousandths for the drill size. And then we'll come back in with a little reamer, and that'll square up our hole and get it to be fairly accurate. And what we've got here, and I had a limited selection of this size reamer, of course. We'll just go to the shaft size. And we've got 145, so it's a thousandths under. I think it's a thousandths under. Yeah. So it's probably going to be a press fit, but that's not too bad. 146 and a half. That's 1.5 press. That's going to be a little tight, but I think we can kind of swing it. We'll maybe freeze the shaft, heat up the hole, and it'll slide in. And then we don't really even have to worry about a locking system, but you know, hey, it's there, might as well just use it. So we're going to drill our hole. A little bit of oil. And I'm going to take it all the way through so that my reamer has a chance to just go all the way deep inside. Oh, maybe I'm not going to take it all the way through. It may not reach. All right, we're at about 1.25 inches, so I think we're in good shape. Reamer, let's slow this baby down to a crawl. And that's probably even still a little fast, but I think we can live with that. Take it right on through. And let's see what we've got here. Fairly tight fit, but we're sliding on, so it will be a slide fit. Okay, let's put our tools away. Nice. Very nice. So that takes care of that part of our process. Now I think what I want to do is go ahead and just smooth up this edge here in order to square it up with that center hole, just because it rides better that way. I don't think it's going to do anything to help the accuracy of the piece or anything like that. We're just kind of going for and it's pretty accurate at this point, but just that one last little pass, maybe taking 5/1000ths out of it. Doing it mechanically rather than by hand, which is what I was doing earlier. There we are. Okay, and just a little bit of file work. Everybody's smoothed out, and that doesn't feel quite smooth. Let's see, there was a piece of sandpaper here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, first stage of our process is complete. We won't put that in just yet because it's a very tight fit, which is great. And we need to put 4 holes coming out from the center there. So that's probably going to be our next process.